Hello and welcome to what I am calling the freeze frame challenge. No connection to the TikTok challenge. Uh, I've decided to challenge myself to grab a freeze frame of a piece of media that I like, a game, a movie, a series, like no limits. Take a freeze frame of some actiony bit, some bit that's in motion, just to make it a bit more trickier for myself rather than just grab like a nice posed moment. And try to take what I see and turn it into a piece of paper cutting art. So for this one, as you might be able to tell, I took a bit from Resident Evil 4 Remake, and specifically the Ada DLC. For, what is it called? Separate Ways? That one. Took a bit where she's killing one of the bosses, El Gigante, I believe he's called, and tried to make it work. This is also a fun way of showing you a bit of my drawing process as well, which I don't usually include in my videos, because I don't actually know how interesting it is to watch me trace, but in this case it might be, because I found this tricky, believe it or not. It's a challenge, and it was challenging, specifically because of that blood splatter over there, which you're going to see me. Yeah, this is probably at the part like you're gonna see me struggle really hard to figure out what to do with the blood. I had this notion of making it hollowed out while the rest of the boss was filled in, but in what way should I hollow it out to make it also look interested but still indicate that this is blood? Uh, if I just left it completely hollowed out, you'd have no idea that it was liquid. If I did a few holes, you might have no idea of what it's supposed to be. When you're seeing me filling it in gray, that's me trying to visualize what it would look like when it's like cut out paper. The gray part being the paper that would remain, and the holes being where the holes are. But yeah, I really, really struggled, and I'm not entirely sure that I got it right. I really need to find a way to indicate liquids. That's something I struggle with generally. And the way I kind of get around it usually is that if there's a body of water, I just don't do anything with it. I just leave a plain paper, no cuts in there whatsoever. Or maybe just like a few lines to indicate ripples, and that's it. But this was like a full on blood explosion coming out of the boss, so it needed to. I couldn't just do a few ripples, it had to. I had to do something with it. And what you're seeing is like what I ended up going for with. I don't know if it actually worked. It looks a bit more like a flower, I think, than liquid. But hey, it looks neat. It might just not be clear what it's supposed to be. We'll see what you think. Yeah, and then the final step whenever I trace something is to flip it, because when you're cutting something like this, you will see like little edges of lines. You'll see bits of black around the edges, because you never cut very, very specifically where the line is. Or sometimes the line is a bit thicker than the cut you've made with your very fine blade, which makes the edges look not very neat from the side that you were cutting. So then you would flip the paper over to show some nice clean white paper with no like little edges, and make it look tidier. I know some paper cutting artists then like take the time to paint the edges of the paper to give it a bit more, I don't know, pizzazz. But I kind of like the plain white paper. I think it looks quite well. And yeah, getting straight to it, my blood flower. Does this look like blood to you? Let me know. I don't. Yeah. I need to figure out what to do with water. That could be another challenge I do on my videos. Jean learns how to make water in paper form. I actually, if you saw a little pause for a while, which might be hard because this is sped up, but like I actually stopped at some point and just tried to Google paper cutting water and see what came up. But turns out, no, like people kind of do what I do most of the time. Like those were the most frequent results that I found. It's just like you need waves, fine. Let's do like wavy paper and put several layers, and ta-da, you have waves. Or do the Hokusai tsunami thing of doing like parallel lines and then foam at the top to indicate water, which looks great, but looks very well, it looks very Japanese, which is not what I was going for there. Or like traditionally Japanese, I guess I should say. But yeah, the idea was for the blood to be hollowed out and everything else to be solid to create some nice contrast. And also for the boss to be much more detailed than Ada, to make her seem more solid and to make her stand out more compared to the beast she is facing off. And if I'm being fully honest, it allowed me not to have a headache trying to figure out like the gears on her back and like all of the little equipment she's carrying on herself, which were hard to see in the freeze frame because she is mostly in shadow. The other question when I was making that adapting that freeze frame was that tentacle that is coming from El Gigante. And it's like, if you think about the logic of the piece, it's coming from the monster, and it's kind of looping behind Ada, and then coming out behind her elbow, and then getting hidden again behind her head. And it's like, you understand it when you watch the frame, but I was like, in paper form, does it look like Ada just has like the weirdest headgear, head decoration ribbon? I decided to leave it anyway because that part of the frame was a bit empty, and because there are other tentacles, I'm hoping you can sort of understand what this is supposed to be anyway. I'm also using this challenge to force myself to learn how to do a paint wash for my cards, which is a thing I really struggle with. I am not good with paint. So usually when I do a card, I'll just take some colored paper and just stick it on top. But I want to try and get better at making personalized colors. And so this is me trying to figure out watercolor washes. And I have to say, I'm not very convinced. It's very hard to get dark colors with watercolors, and I want it to be darker, otherwise the white of the paper doesn't really stand out too much. So here's the result of my challenge. Did I succeed? That blood flower, I don't know. It looks nice, but I don't think you can tell what it's actually supposed to be. But yeah, that's why it's a challenge. And it was fun to make, if anything. It was fun to try and figure out what to do with this shape. So yeah, let me know what you thought. Let me know, can you tell that it's blood? Would you have been able to tell if you didn't know the game? Let me know. Give it a like if you like this video. Check out other videos on my channel to see other paper cutting art that I make and see my whole process for that. And I think I will be... I'll keep doing those challenges. They're fun and they're good practice for me to identify my weak spots and get better at them. Check out all of my links, my Instagram, my Etsy shop. Give my channel a subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me. And I'll see you next time.